Hello world, it's Berto Prey 5, Cutflaw. Just wanted to tell you guys all about a show I've was recommended to me by Thomas Potts of the nerd community. The show is called The Center Seat, 55 Years of Star Trek, and it is free to watch. For most people, I believe at least in the United States, it is on a service called Freevee, which is owned by Amazon, but it is free as far as I can tell. If you have Amazon Prime, it is definitely free. But even if you don't have Amazon Prime, it's supposedly still free with ads. Either way, it is an 11-part documentary series about Star Trek from the very beginning, from Gene Roddenberry and all those original OGs getting everything together for the Cage, even before the Cage. The first episode talks about how Lucille Ball was instrumental in getting Star Trek to the screen. There would be no Star Trek without Lucille Ball. Also talks about her and her husband. And this is a unofficial, no holds barred type documentary. They do talk about the good and the bad. They don't try to hide too much. I thought I knew about Lucille and Desi Arnaz, but apparently they did. I didn't know they divorced later in life. I didn't know that they had broken up, that the studio was not as great as, I thought it was. In truth, it was a much dirtier history than it's often made out to be, which is fascinating. A little bit on the sad side that it wasn't everybody lives happily ever after situation, but they were very rich movie stars. It's not that they ruined their lives over things, but it was a fascinating take that I'd never heard before. And it hooked me in episode 1, and it continued that. Now, to be honest, I've watched the first 10 episodes. I'm doing this review. I haven't watched the 11th yet, but I'm sure it won't change my mind on too much of it. The series is narrated by Gates McFadden. That is Dr. Beverly Crusher, to everyone who might not know, which, take it or leave it. She does a fine job in this documentary. I don't know that I'd want to hear her opinions on politics, but the truth is very few, if anybody, would I really want to hear their opinions on politics right now. But she certainly has the experience with the show to hold her own. She does a good job. Now, an important thing that this series was shot before Star Trek Picard season 3 was a thing, but after Star Trek Picard season 2 was a thing. Now, understand that they told us at the time that Picard season 2 and 3 was filming together, that they were filming Picard season 3 right after or alongside season 2. And while I know some of that happened, that's just to prove the fact that season 3 of Picard was reshot virtually completely because that was before Terry Matalas was showrunner for season 3, and before they were bringing in all the TNG regulars into season 3 of Picard, because I can tell you, she had no idea she was going to be in season 3 of Picard when she was doing this. But you have to take my word for it. I have a link to, if you would like to watch it, there is a link in the description. It is an Amazon affiliate link, which technically means that I would get credit for anything you buy with the link. But since it's a link to a free video, I really don't know that I would get any credit whatsoever unless you also happen to buy something on Amazon after following the link. But I do have to legally advise you that if you follow my link, it is an affiliate link. Like I said, there's 11 episodes. The first episode is the build-up to Star Trek, really, mostly about Lucille Ball and how she was instrumental in getting the series to TV, and it brings us through the first, the original series. The second episode talks about the animated series and what a big deal that was, and there's like things I'd never heard about the animated series. I learned. I don't want to spoil things, but I never thought about how many people were angry that the animated series was even a thing. And even back in, you start to think, oh, in TNG, people were protesting. They didn't want new Trek. They wanted the original series back. But there were people protesting that they were making a cartoon of the original series because they were so happy with the original series, they didn't want to see a cartoon made of it. And I know even today, whether the animated series is canon or not is something we debate, but I never thought back in 1974 that they'd be debating pretty much the same thing. Episode 3 goes through the phase 2 talks and what ultimately became the motion picture. Episode 4 talks about the release, the Wrath of Khan, and the search for Spock, and just a little bit on the voyage home. Episode 5 is more on the voyage home, the final frontier, and the undiscovered country. And then for episode 6, we hear about the next generation getting set up. Episode 7 is all about Deep Space Nine. Episode 8 is pretty much all about Voyager. Episode 9 is only about the various starships, all just starships designed throughout the years. It's a really cool episode. Episode 10 basically talks about Star Trek Enterprise, and it's trying to be the flagship show for UPN. And then episode 11, which is the one I've yet to watch, talks about the characters, the people, the actors, and the background people. Because basically an episode to all the people that have been involved in making Star Trek what it is. And like I said, I've seen the first 10, and it's really cool. They're all about 45 minutes long, so an hour. If it had ads, figure an hour, but they don't. I don't see any ads. So it's a really cool way to uh, waste a rainy day or a, a weekend that you got nothing else to do. It is called The Center Seat, 55 Years of Star Trek. It is available on Amazon Prime Video Freebie, or you can purchase the DVD or Blu-ray, I suppose. I believe there is also it's for sale on Amazon in that format, but I would just, as much as I love physical media, um, if you want to watch this first, you can do so for free. So that's it. I hope you enjoy it. Kapla all, bird out.